Uncover and Elevate is the next evolution of Liberate Your People Pleaser. I'm Brenda Florida, certified life coach, and after coaching hundreds of clients, I am unapologetically clear on this. People pleasing is a symptom with a deeper cause. Being in a toxic relationship or career and feeling trapped has a deeper cause. Avoiding difficult conversations has a deeper cause. Self-sabotage, imposter syndrome, confusion, feeling insecure, all have a deeper cause. In Uncover and Elevate, we are going to look under the hood every week to uncover what the deeper causes are that shape our lives, including the ones that make breaking a pattern, even one we want to break, so hard. Then we will elevate our lives with tools designed to transform those deeper causes and deal with the symptoms. Join me each week as we uncover and elevate our lives. And now, here's this week's episode of Uncover and Elevate. How do you want to invest in yourself? Or maybe a better question is, why would you even want to? You know, maybe when you hear me talk about investing in yourself, you're like, whatever, no time for that. So today, I want to talk a little bit about this. I want to talk about the things in our lives that we invest in that we don't necessarily think of that way, and what it is to really invest in yourself and what the return on investment, so to speak, the ROI is on investing in yourself. So let's think about some things that you invest in that you may not be thinking about. You invest in your work, whatever that is, whether you're an entrepreneur or work for somebody else, whatever it is, you invest your time and energy into that job that you do, whatever it is, whatever role you're playing. I don't care if you're a CEO, doesn't matter. You're investing yourself in that. And you do that because you expect to have a return on that investment. You expect a paycheck. You expect to be profitable in your business. Whatever it is, benefits, vacation, whatever. So you're trading, you're investing your time and energy. You're giving it to that company or your business because you expect something else in return. Hopefully you enjoy it. It makes you feel good about yourself. Plus there's the money part and, maybe access to benefits or different things. And there are plenty of people who continue to stay invested in things that they aren't enjoying anymore. Okay. They're staying in a job just because, for the benefits or, because they don't want to go through the process of finding another job or whatever. And so now that investment is starting to have a lower return because I'm not having as much fun. Maybe I'm dreading it even, and so the return on my investment is getting lower and lower. The same thing can happen to relationships. So of course, we invest ourselves in our relationships, whether they're love, like lover marriages, partnerships, whatever, romantic relationships, we invest ourselves in that. If you're a parent, you invest yourself in the relationship with your children. As a adult, if you have parents who are still alive that you're in connection to, you're investing yourself in that relationship as their son or daughter, or child. Friendships, you're investing yourself in. You are spending time and money and energy giving of yourself for those relationships. And even though ideally you're not sitting there with a, ledger sheet going tit for tat on whether or not you've been given as much as you were giving or something, there is a sense of reciprocity that we just sort of unconsciously notice in relationships, where you have some relationships probably where you feel like you are giving more on a regular basis than the other person. So to use this language, we're investing more than we're getting back in return. And that's a super easy thing for anybody who relates to being a people pleaser or codependency, any of those kinds of terms. We are accustomed to giving more than we get back. And so that's an investment that doesn't have a very good return on it, right? Because you're giving more than you are receiving. So in those kinds of investments, and same thing with employee, work relationships, you're not in control of all of it, right? Because there's this other person involved or an entity. I know somebody who just the other day, they didn't get fired, but their boss did, and their boss's boss. And so, like the company's all in an uproar. And, the day before, nobody woke up thinking they were going to lose their job tomorrow in December, right before Christmas, whatever. So we invest ourselves into jobs and relationships sometimes where we end up being surprised and we don't get the return on that investment that we intended. In relationships, it could be something startling, like finding out your lover is having an affair or something like that, or it could just be a natural progression. We just grew apart and we're no longer a good fit anymore. And so I invested in that, and now I don't have it anymore, because we can't control another person. Even with our children, as much as we love to think when they're young that we're always going to have this great relationship, that doesn't happen all the time. But I'm still going to invest in that. We invest in those relationships, and we're sort of anticipating a good return on that investment, but we don't know for sure that that's going to happen because another person is involved. So they could, go off the train tracks, or just, something that sounds sort of judgy, but I don't mean it that way, but just like, they don't work with you anymore. You don't work with them anymore. It's not anybody's fault. It just, doesn't work. So there's a lot of things we invest ourselves in that, sort of like money and the stock market, it's not always going up, 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 right? We can end up investing a lot in something and then losing a lot in something. So before you go grab your razor blades, because this is the most depressing episode of Uncover and Liberate you've ever listened to, hang on. Help is on the way. So what I want to talk about today is the unquestionable, no risk involved investment when you invest in yourself. Right now, you don't need another person or a company or somebody to show up for you and create that return on investment. You're doing it yourself. And that's why when we invest in ourselves, it's so powerful. Like, as crazy as that may sound, and it's gotten a little catchphrasey, right? To even say that, let's invest in yourself, go buy my diet book, or go, whatever. When you invest in yourself, you are very much in control of that return on the investment. And this is what I love about what I do, because everybody that works, I don't care if you just listen to this podcast, it's not about paying me for things. This is about investing in yourself. And when you invest in yourself, in even just the no monetary investment, but a time investment of listening to this podcast, now you have a chance to put something I've said into practice in your life, or let it give you that little aha, or let you think about something a little bit different. Okay, so there you had an investment and a return. Fabulous, because you're the only person you need to do that. Okay, so you can get that return on investment. I had so much fun. It was such a thrill this week, and I'll put it on social media so you can check my Instagram feed, Brenda Florida Coach. I got an emailed or a video testimonial from one of my ladies who attended my last retreat in Huntington Beach. And if you haven't seen it yet, and you're listening to this podcast in real time here in December of 2022, I have planned my next retreat. So my next retreat is going to be in La Jolla, California, just a little bit north of downtown San Diego. And it's just going to be another beautiful, like 4 days. Come in on Thursday. We start Thursday evening. We work together all day Friday, all day Saturday, Sunday through like brunch. And then you have Sunday afternoon to play and explore and do your own thing. And then we check out of our Airbnb on Monday. And, you know, what I'm taking care of all the food and the drinks and, you know, all the things while we're there. So you get to just like come in, you know, I wanted it to be as much like being at an all-inclusive resort. You get to just come in. I've made all the arrangements. I've got the food. I'm going to take us to dinner. I'm going to, you know, all the things. So you can just totally relax and unwind in a beautiful spot with a lovely and small group of other women. So guys, sorry, this is a women's retreat. So if you're one of my men that follows me, which I love, maybe we can get enough of you together and do a men's retreat too, because that would be a lot of fun. But anyway, this one's for women. So like-minded women, her video about what it was like for her to be at this retreat was freaking inspiring to me, because it is such an investment in yourself to take yourself away from your own environment, be with a group of people, be in a luxurious setting, and then just devote that time to your own well-being, to your own emotional, mental, spiritual health. And when we make that kind of investment in ourselves, there is an easy return on investment, because you are investing in you. You're not, I'm there as sort of your facilitator and catalyst, but the truth is you're not really investing in me. Like I'm playing a role in it, but you could just go probably without me. And if you were to just spend that time in silence or, you know, laying on the beach or something, you would get a lot out of that as well. Okay. So I would be there to be a catalyst to even more growth. I feel like so often when I've done these kinds of things, and I saw it with the women that were in the retreat this fall here in Huntington Beach, it's like you do, you know, 6 months of coaching over a weekend or something, because you're just, there's no other distractions. You've just created sort of this perfect environment for elevating your life and doing the uncovering part, right? Like we do plenty of uncovering because we need to know how we got here, why we do the things we do. Why is it so hard for me to stop what I want to stop and start what I want to start? Like there's some looking under the hood there that we need to do. But being in a group environment like that, you know, you'll hear somebody else share about something for them, and it makes you think of something in yourself that you wouldn't have even thought of if you hadn't heard that. So it's just a very powerful combination of beauty and nature and being relaxed and just having everything taken care of for you so you don't have to figure out anything, and then indulging in your own self. What does your own heart and soul want to show you, want to inspire you with, want to help you change, you know, in a pattern that's not serving you anymore? And so you have a very guaranteed return on investment when you invest in yourself in something like this retreat. But it could be anything else. It could be one-on-one coaching. It could be, you know, my holiday special I have on the Solve It digital program, where you can add the 3 discounted coaching sessions to it. And it's not just me. You don't have to do something with me to invest in yourself, right? You could invest in yourself by just taking an hour and going for a walk somewhere. Just like let yourself, and be very intentional about it. Let yourself be in your own headspace and heart space and say, I'm taking this hour for me. Like it's an appointment for yourself. Okay. And I am intentionally doing this to take care of myself. So let me, whatever, if listening to lovely music helps you, if listening to inspiring podcast helps you, then do that. But don't listen to the news or something that's going to rile you up or whatever. Use it as a chance to take that break, because when we invest in ourselves, there is always a return. There is always a return on that investment. It's not relying on anyone else's performance, anybody else noticing you, anybody else appreciating you, anybody else doing what they're supposed to do. It's not relying on any of that. It's you for you about you. And some of us have been taught that that is super selfish and we should never do that. And I'm here to tell you that that is not true. The healthiest way, the most holistic way for you to be the best contribution to the planet that you can be is to take care of yourself first. So I'm going to encourage you right now, if you're listening to this in real time, or at least early in 2023, go to the show notes and click on this link for the retreat and check out the retreat. If it's sold out, you'll know, because I'll have that on there that it's sold out. But so don't wait, go now. And if you're listening to this in real time on Sunday, the 11th, I think, when this is released, there is actually a bonus for everybody who registers for the retreat before the 16th of December. I'm going to give you a free pre and post retreat session, private session. So that's like $350 worth of coaching right there. That is just my way of giving you back, making that ROI a little sweeter. Just my gift to you for registering here by December 16th. So, but think about it in other ways too, just all the different ways you can invest in yourself. Because when you invest in yourself, you can rest assured you will get the return on that investment as long as you stay present with yourself and intentional with yourself about it, right? Like we can do things where we're like, oh, I'm going to go, I don't know, take a walk or go for a drive or something like that. Read a book. I was doing this last night. We'll use that example because I was just doing this. I had a very long day, a little bit stressful, but just a lot back-to-back appointments, just a lot of stuff going on. And it's the holidays, right? So there's a lot of stuff going on. And so my mind was just racing. I'd finished my work, but it was late for me. It was like 8 o'clock and I don't usually work that late. And so I'm trying to unwind. So I go out on my porch with my book and I start reading my book because that's usually for me a good way to get out of my own mental, headspace and let myself be absorbed in a novel. So I take my book out and I don't know, flipped through 4 or 5 pages. I don't know. And then I just realized I have no idea what I just read because I'm not really reading. I'm really still up in my head with all the stuff I'm thinking about. So you've got to be intentional about it. So there was no ROI for me in that. There was no investment in that, in myself for that. Except that once I noticed it, then I stopped that and I made it an investment. I was just like, no, wait a minute. I'm here outside where, thank goodness, I live in a place where at 8 o'clock at night, I can still sit outside, which I love. And I'm going to just settle down this mind chatter and just let myself be absorbed in this novel. Just let myself enjoy that. And then I went back to the book, I turned my pages back because I didn't remember any of those pages that I supposedly read, and started over and enjoyed it very much. So there are many different ways to invest in ourselves, but we kind of need to be intentional about it. We could say, like, going to the gym, I'm investing in myself in a way, yes. And if you do your workout, then your body's going to win. Okay. But it doesn't become the mental spiritual win unless you're more intentional about it. Okay. Let me be present with myself. Let me notice how my body's behaving. Let me quiet down my mind. Let me put this in the category of I am loving on myself right now. So I want to notice that, right? It's like when you do something for your lover or one of your kids or something, and they don't even notice it. Well, that's the way you want to be with yourself. You want to notice the ways that you're showing yourself love. And that creates that really big return on investment. So I hope you'll check out the retreat and join me for the retreat. It's going to be amazing. If that doesn't feel doable or, whatever, because, you're traveling and whatever, if that doesn't work for you, check out the holiday Solve It program, because that is all about investing in yourself. That whole process of the Solve It method is all about investing in yourself with tools that'll just make your life easier. And so that's an easy ROI on that one. And take the VIP and add those coaching sessions. Why I have those discounted? I hardly ever do that. Maybe a couple times a year, I'll do something like that. And so take advantage of that. Let me give you that gift. So whatever it is, including listening to this podcast, so thank you very much, invest in yourself, because you have a guaranteed ROI when you're present with yourself and intentional about your investment. Thank you for joining me for this week's episode of Uncover and Elevate. Check out the show notes for tons of great information and resources, like if you're interested in being a guest on the podcast so we can uncover and elevate an issue in your life, just complete the form in the show notes. You can follow me on Instagram at Brenda Florida Coach. You can work with me one-on-one or get additional information about one of my group or private retreats by completing the form in the show notes. And I would love it if you would share this episode on social and tag me. I'd also love for you to post a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. It makes such a big difference and will help others find the show. And I'll be incredibly grateful. This is Brenda Florida, Certified Life Coach, and I'll see you in the next episode of Uncover and Elevate.